live now again. We're back. These are rapid fire after a brief hiatus, but we're back one more time, laying it down with Big D. I, of course, am your host, Andrew Big D Morrow, and today joined by North American legend and content creator NartOutHere. How are we doing today, man?
What's up, Big D? I'm ready for these questions. Hard and slow, baby.
Yeah,
Or
okay,
fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, however
Let's
you
get
like
that.
it.
Let's get those questions.
We'll be gentle with you. Don't worry. Let's get right into it then. The first question I always ask is, how did you get into video? Like, what are your earliest memories of video games, and how did it lead you to Counter-Strike?
All right. So let's see. When I was 6, 7, Pokemon on the Game Boy, classic. I started with Yellow. That was the hardest one. Then went to Red. And then I've always, like, my parents have always given me video game consoles. So PlayStation, PS2, Xbox 360. But I didn't play PC games until I went over to my cousin's house. And I feel like that's very common for somebody like family and friends to introduce you to games, right? So I got introduced to CS back then. Source, way better than 1.6. Sorry, guys. I know there was a huge debate between the two. Like both of those games hated each other, but I was a Source player. And the crazy thing about that was I would skip school to play Source. Like I would I would fake being sick. I would say I would throw up in high school to go home to play Source. I was addicted. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bad kid. I was a bad kid. Like I was so addicted that my mom had to take away my PC. Like she took away my PC for like a whole year for me to focus on school, and then I did that and I got my PC back. So to answer your question, my cousins got me into Source to CS, right? Was that the question? To Counter Strike?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
actually
a good and bad thing. Good and bad thing. Good because I'm making content now, but bad like early on because I was not good. Like I was playing like 10 hours a day, and like
as a
not
little kid.
yeah in like middle school, high school, like especially during the summer, I would not touch grass. I would just stay inside. And my friends would have to like they would my parents would tell my friends like come over to pull me out. Like that's how like I was addicted. So
Did you at least like play LANs with your friends at that time? Like,
no,
did you have
no.
friends that played Counter
Yeah,
Strike, or
yeah.
were you isolated?
All my friends were online. I had IRL friends that game, but they didn't PC game. They were on console. So yep, that's my Counter Strike history in a nutshell on how I got into CS. But if we're talking about competitive, I played up to like ESCA main, and I never really attempted to grind like that hard enough to go pro because of schooling. So I went to nursing school, and that's when I like stepped back and took school more serious.
So it has a happy ending. You eventually
Yeah, yeah, for
focused up
sure,
and got where you needed to
for
go.
sure.
Well,
Yeah, one day
that
hopefully I can quit my job. Don't send it to my employer, guys, or tag them, and then do CS full time. So I don't do content full time. A lot of people think I do content full time, but it's just a hustle slash hobby right now.
well, and how long have you been doing content for now? It's
Yeah,
been a while, hasn't
it's
it?
crazy. Like 2019 is when I started my YouTube channel, but it wasn't until 20 to like late 2020 when I got a little bit more serious. So how my channel came about was me and my IRL friends were playing ESA Open, and we were copying strats on YouTube. Like we would search up YouTube for strats. And at that time, nobody was really making updated strats. Like there was a YouTuber named Had on Games. but he hasn't made a video in like 2018, 2017. So I would
Mm.
just download some demos, record the POVs, share them with my friends, and then I don't know where I got the idea to share on Global Offensive Reddit, but that's when I started doing it. And then the video started getting views, and I think like the third or fourth video I posted on Global Offensive, Thorin saw the video. I had no association with Thorin at the time. He took that video and posted on his Twitter, which got me a lot of views. And then it also started getting me pro player follows on Twitter. Like Kicker was the first pro player to follow me from that. So shout out to Thorin for helping me grow as well. So basically, started because my ESCA open team of IRL friends did not know. We didn't know anything. We didn't like. There was no strats to be copied from the pro scene update at the time. So I made videos covering those strategies, which is funny now because a lot of teams do that nowadays. Like they'll just watch some of my strategy videos and they'll just copy and run them. Not just pros, but competitive teams. Like they'll call the IGLs like NartOutHere IGLs. That's like a term
Is that
because all
actually
they
a term now?
yeah, because all they do is run set pieces, set tactics. They don't like know how to like read the game, so just call strategy from out of spawn. From out of spawn. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
and now here we are. Didn't you in last year? Weren't you? Didn't I see your name nominated for? Haven't you been nominated for
Yeah.
Content Creator of the Year by HLTV?
Yeah. It started in 2023. I finished top three, and then 2024 I didn't finish top three. I was in the original list, which is 10. So, yeah, that's. I mean, it'd be a dream if I became content creator of the year, but there's no way like I could win that ever with my viewership and player and like my content is so niche compared to these other creators, you know. So it would be super hard for me to win that award. But shout out to all the other creators. You know, they make good content as well.
And still, that's got to be a pretty special feeling to see it being recognized
Dude,
at that level, right?
yeah, that's insane because if you told me back in 2019 when I made my channel, I would be like, "What are you talking about? No way!" Like, but it just shows like if you put in the work, you. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, if you put in the work, you can get anywhere. It just started with me just putting out these. I mean, if you go back and watch my first video, guys, if you go watch it, I sound like this, like phase do a nuke outside strat. Like it's so monotone. It's really bad. But if you stay consistent, if this is like advice, if you want to become a creator, just stay consistent. You'll get somewhere. Like I posted one video a day, or I mean a month, or one video a week, and that's how I started to grow. Just post at least once a week. So if I can do it with a full-time job, like you can definitely do it.
We're out here, Grip. I don't know if you know this. We're
Yeah.
reaching to a pretty small audience right now here on our
Uh,
show, but we're doing the same thing. I mean,
yeah.
it's and the reason I keep doing it is because the few people in the Counter-Strike scene that appreciate these things are actually watching them, and like you said, I think that as long as you stay consistent,
Yep.
even after doing it a couple of months, you see some small bits of growth. So, like, we've got Nart out here on the show here. Come on, guys. We're moving
Yep.
on up.
Yeah. Pretty soon you'll get simple and Zywoo. Yeah.
You never know, baby.
y-
You
I believe
don't.
in you.
I believe. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, I actually have a question. What is the like
Mm,
process? Because one of your things is like staying up on meta in Counter
yeah.
Strike, right?
Yeah.
What's the process like for you when there's how do you one know when there's a new meta, and two, how do
Mm.
you kind of like start working around that?
Okay. So it's pretty easy for me to know what a meta is nowadays because of how many demos and rounds and clips I've seen. So I'm like, I watch my demos in 5 to 10x speed. So and I go through like on the binds 0 to 9 or 0 to 10 or whatever it is through each player. So I'm holding the fast forward bind while I'm going through each player's POV, and I can see if something's new, like, or if I've seen it before. So that's how I could. It's just from experience. Like I just know from seeing it so much already that if something's new, it sticks out, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just watch a ton of demos.
Yeah.
Is that the process of your content creation?
Yeah. They call me pro demo watcher, pro demo king. Yeah. I spend hours watching demos, man. It's gross. It's gross. I watch every match. Well, I don't watch every match. I prioritize the tier 1 matches and like the better matchups. Like if Vitali played Navi, I'll put that first in my to watch list. But tier 1 tournaments first, and then if I don't have anything else to watch, I will watch tier 3.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how much North American Counter-Strike do you stay boned up on?
Uh, NACS. I'll be honest, the only NACS I watch is, like I said, Team Liquid, if you even consider them NA. And I watched, yeah, then I watched the other the higher NA teams like Cole, M80, Wildcard. And then, like I said, if I don't have anything to watch, then I'll skip down to like the lowest I'll get is ECL. Like I'll watch a couple ECL matches, but usually nowadays, with how full the CS schedule is and so many tournaments running, my schedule's booked.
So you stick to like, I mean, when you say tier 1, tier 2, you're talking about tier 1, tier 2, worldwide international Counter-Strike, not just regional here.
Yeah, but right now I'm watching tier like 3 CS because there's no tournaments running. I finished watching all the major matches, and there's a bunch of online like random cups happening that I'm watching just to get more content out. So I'm out here grinding.
Do you ever get tired of watching all those demos?
Yeah, I get burnt.
Do you?
Yeah, it's very tough. Like I could see like how hard it is to be an analyst as well, because analysts do the same job. Well, not job, but same thing I do. They just watch and skim through and analyze a bunch of demos. So shout out to all the analysts out there on the pro teams. They don't get enough recognition, that's for sure. But it's like you have to balance your schedule out. So even me watching so many demos, I play here and there. Like I don't have enough time nowadays in my schedule to play games, but you might catch me in like 1 or 2 premier games or face it games. I walk my dog a lot, lift. Yeah, so as long as you're balancing your schedule, burnout. I mean, I still get a little bit burnout, but it's manageable.
I think I'd get tired of I can watch one demo and then I'm exhausted. I think there's a reason
it takes a lot to watch a demo. Yeah. Not many people will even watch their own demo to get better, so.
I certainly won't. I don't want to watch that miserable crap. My God.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's an important part of the journey in becoming a professional player. What's the biggest name team that you've seen like one of your plays be used on in a match? Have you seen?
Oh, dude, every team does something.
Really?
Yeah, every player watches my videos. I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, but it's gotten to the point where every player and team are watching my videos and copying or doing things from the video.
So it's like you're coaching the entire scene.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? I guess I could put on my resume that I coach I'm a pro coach. I coach every team, which is funny because there was a time I wanted to become a pro coach. This was in 2020. So when my channel started to grow a bit, I was like, oh, this might be a good transition to get into coaching. So at that time, there had been creators that was able to transition, like Mahone, to where he became an NIP analyst. There was Elma Putty, who became. Help me out here. What team did he coach for?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine here, Nart.
He coached Energy. I'm gonna guess Energy or Cloud9.
Ammo Putty?
Yeah, Elma Putty. He was. He came back now from Valorant, but no, or Gen G. Yeah, he coached Gen G. There we go. All right, but yeah, there's creators out there that at the time transitioned from becoming a YouTuber to becoming a pro coach or in the coaching scene because of their content. And I was planning to do the same. So I actually reached out to a couple of. I went to the top 30 teams on HLTV and just DM'd players, orgs, coaches, and I got back a couple of replies. One of them was Zeus on EG at the time. This was with the Tarek, Ethan, Cirque lineup, that EG.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, we're looking for an analyst. And then he's like, gave me a tryout. Like he wanted me to analyze a couple of demos and matches of the opponents that they have coming up. I got into one demo and then I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. Because it was because I also found out like how much they're gonna pay me. And it like I live by myself and I live in a pretty expensive I live in Chicago. It's a pretty expensive area. And the amount they were gonna I don't know, I'm not gonna disclose the amount, but it was not suitable to live off of. And I was like, there's no way. Like it was a lot more work than a regular demo watch from like what I would do. Like you have to come up with documents and a bunch of like where you see what like tendencies and things like that. I did it like before. Like I used to coach advanced ESA events in NA for like 2 to 3 seasons. That was a lot of work. And when Zeus gave me the opportunity, I was like, hey man, I don't think this is gonna work out because first off, it's a lot of work. I work a full-time job and also it's not gonna be enough pay for me. I would have to probably quit my full-time job if I wanted to take that position to become an analyst, but I'll be honest, the money wasn't worth the amount of work I was putting in. So at that time, when that conversation was happening, that kind of ruined my dream to coach. I was just like, I'll just do content. I'll stick with my job as a nurse, and then I'll do content on the side. And then a year later or 2 years later, when Vitality became international, so Zonix left Australis with Magus and Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
Zonix DM'd me saying like, "Hey, do you want to coach? Are you interested in coaching? Is content a passion of yours?" I was like, the GOAT coach DM'd me about coaching.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this is crazy. And at that time, I was pretty much committed to content. I just my mind was full on content, so I respectfully declined. But he was going to offer me an opportunity to become assistant head coach for for Vitality, which is crazy because they won the major, the Paris major. This is back then, and I saw Apex. I met Apex and the Vitality team at HLTV award show for the 2023-2024. And me and him were talking about it. He's like, bro, you could have coached us. You could have won a major. I was like, yeah. Yeah. I was like, yeah. That'd been cool. But yeah, I appreciate, Zeus, Sonics for the opportunities. That's for sure. But like I said, if you do, that's one way in as a coach to get into coaching. Like, look at me. I have no high level experience playing or coaching, but if you do content, you could you're explaining like what you know, and teams and players, they might be interested and they'll might DM you. So that's one way to get into coaching if someone is interested into getting into coaching, make content.
Man, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a wild story. I mean,
Yeah.
did they use your strats in the Paris Major?
So my strats have been used probably since more and more like popular in 2021 and so on is how long teams and players have been using these tactics or tips, nades, and strategies. So it's probably been since 2021 that players are using them.
Well, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say, without you even being on the roster, you went ahead and won the. You've won every
Thank
major
you.
since
Thank
then.
you. Since
If it's
2021.
your,
All right.
yeah, since 2021. So
Yeah.
you could have won one with Vitality, but you've
I
chosen to
know,
win.
dude.
Let's
That'd have been
see.
so sick if
I mean, that's still
to
a
think
pretty
that I won
wild
a
journey.
major, but yeah.
Because then, if I'm not mistaken, you started out going back to when 2019 when you started out, didn't you? You didn't just post on the
Mhm.
CS:GO, the Global Offensive subreddit, but didn't you like post on the ESEA forums when those
Yeah.
existed as well? I feel like I
Yeah.
remember seeing you
I
posting those
did. I
originally
did.
and being
That's
like,
a
"Oh, look at
throwback. I totally
yeah,
forgot. Yeah, shout out to ESA Forums, man. They helped me grow too. Because
those
a bunch
dude, I
of
miss them so
teams,
much."
like it's like to tie it back, it's like a bunch of teams were using my strategies and running them in their league matches, and it ties back with how I started my channel, where the point of it was to copy pro strategies and run them in games with my IRL team for ESA Open. So
Well, and
man,
what was
bring back
the
ESA forums, man.
seriously
Ouch.
like if Face It wants to really
Yeah.
wow all of us, stick the forums back on the homepage so that we can all yap at each
Facts.
other however we want.
So
Um,
you've
uh,
you've been following me for a while then, if you knew that I was posting in ESA forums.
I've been in the
Yeah.
Counter Strike scene for like 12 years. I've been just playing
God
though.
damn. Okay,
I could
Unc.
yeah, exactly. I just turned 35 last week, so
Okay.
I've been
Oh,
gaming
happy
for a while.
belated.
Well, thank you, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, it's we're gonna be going to Frag 19 next week
Okay.
for that. Are we gonna see you do you ever hit up any local lands? Do you make your way through the
Uh,
Fragadelphia
is there
scene?
gonna they usually have one in Chicago sometimes, right?
They had one in Chicago
Yeah.
last year. I don't think
Okay.
there is one this year
Okay.
uh, that I know of. There's not been one announced. Right now, it's Frag 19 next week, and
Mhm.
that's in Windsor, Canada.
Oh,
And
that's
then,
far.
yeah, well, it's not that far from
Where are you?
Chicago. Well, that's far for me. I'm out here in Arizona. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I gotta do a little
Are
traveling.
you working?
Ooh,
Are you casting? Or what are you
well,
are you
I'll
playing?
be casting there. Fragadelphia is all volunteer powered right now, so
Oh, okay.
it's a big passion project for the
Yeah.
players. Everything goes towards the prize pool. Um,
Gotcha.
they're I know they're looking for sponsors though. So if you
Mhm.
know of any out there, let them know. I'm sure North American Counter
Oh yeah, we
Strike
could
needs
talk.
it.
We could talk after.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, I was kidding. Anyway, um, yeah, dude, make your way out to land. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, this now I
The
remember
major.
what. Yeah, did you go to the major recently?
Yeah, it was fun. Did you go?
No, I no, I didn't.
Oh my
I'm
God. It's one of the
saving all my
best.
tra- I'm
Oh, it's
saving
one of
my
the best
travel budget
experiences.
for Fragland, but
Gotcha. That makes sense. But man, I had a blast. No pun intended. It was one of the best. It was probably the best experience. I've only been to two other tournaments or lands. I am Chicago 2018 and 2019, but the
so you haven't.
majors is just a whole different atmosphere and environment.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So you haven't been to like IEM Dallas in the last few years because that's like
No, yeah, I
the
have not
closest we've
gone.
had in North America. I've gone to
Yeah.
those in the last few years. That's part of why
Okay.
I was like, okay, missing the major. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it sounds like. What
Oh,
were
so
you there?
did you go to the last one? The
to
one like 2 to 3 weeks before the major. That
no,
Dallas.
not
Oh,
this year. I went 24 and 23,
okay,
so I went the last 2 years, and
gotcha.
and it was epic in 23 because it was the last S tier Counter Strike Global Offensive tournament,
Oh,
and it
okay.
and it had that crazy like 70 round game between I think it was Ents and
Yeah,
FaZe.
Ents and Phase. Okay, so that's the tournament Ents one.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was,
and you
and
got
I
to
was
see
in.
G Stu next year, the following year.
Then last year I was,
Yeah.
oh man, dude, I got to sit. I was one row back from the G2 table while they
I,
were on the grand finals on Sunday. Oh my God,
oh man, the crowd was. I can see it now. The crowd going crazy.
it gets loud and rowdy in there. Can you
Yeah.
believe how? Well, okay, I got a question. How
Yeah.
were the inflatable men at in Austin? Because
I
I
sat.
was
I
staring at
sat
them on
like.
stream all the whole time.
I don't know how to position it, but I sat like diagonal, like a little bit. But the men were like the gun was in the way. Like I couldn't
Was
see.
it?
Yeah, the gun, like the hands, like when they're holding like this, it covered the UI layout on the bottom. So
Oh
I
no.
couldn't see like half like the players like money and economy and if they have nades and stuff, which is important because I like to see that, you know.
The all of the
Yeah.
information that you're
Yeah.
hoping to see.
Yeah. But I mean that the it was cool to see that like the art and the inflatables, that was a cool touch for the stage. And if you guys saw Shocks's video about it, you know Shocks, the
Hmm.
caster, not caster, but the desk host, she made a funny video on the inflatables.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, like she zoomed in on the inflatables and she's like, hmm, like you know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
like a dirt,
I.
like a dirty gesture.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
I did. I think I
Yeah.
did see it. She posted it on Twitter, didn't she?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think yeah.
Yeah, you seen
Well,
it.
dude, the way they looked on stream. I know we're spending a lot of time on these inflatables, but they
Yeah.
were kind of wild. They
Imagine
looked like.
stealing those and putting it outside your house. That'd be funny.
Well,
I don't
okay.
know.
This is another question I've got here
Yeah.
for you. Is were you so did were you a guest of honor at like did Blast invite you to the major or were you there just like the
Uh,
rest of the fans?
I was I was there, but I also made some content.
Oh,
Yeah, I made
nice.
some content. Yep. So I applied for the media pass. They gave me the media pass access. So shout out to Blast for sure. But it was cool meeting everybody, like the fans. I ran into some players, some of the staff and hosts. I actually did. Did you watch the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
I got like I was walking around during the period of after Navi and Vitali map one in the quarterfinals. I was walking around and I ran to Banks. Banks like, yo, Nart, you want to do an interview real quick? I'm like, sure. It never aired though, because I think he asked me a question about like who I was cheering for, and because I had a Navi jersey on at the time. And then I was like, "Oh yeah, Banks, am I allowed to say it?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then I said, "Fuck Apex." So yeah, it didn't air though. It didn't air though. Yeah. So I don't know if that's a
Damn,
reason, but yeah, it just didn't air.
dude.
Because at the time, all the NA people were saying "fuck you," like they were shouting "fuck you, Apex." Fuck.
I was there
Yeah.
last year in Dallas when it started, dude.
Oh,
It
it
was
happened in
hilarious.
Dallas last year. Oh,
That started in Dallas
okay,
last year.
gotcha.
That's why they were doing it in Dallas again this year, and then
Yeah,
you moved over to the major. It's just an NA thing now.
he's such a good sport about it too.
Oh yeah,
Apex, yeah. And then I liked like after they won the major, all the fans respectfully clapped and cheered for him. So he knew like it was an act, and like we didn't like really hate him, you know.
and you can't be
So
mad at that man when he comes out
yeah,
of the fucking
dude,
stage
that
riser, middle finger in
yeah,
the air, filming himself. Oh my
dude,
God.
that's
And the
so much
video
aura.
beforehand, they
Yeah,
show the Mongols telling this just incredibly emotional story about how they got here and all this stuff. And he's like, fuck the haters.
Yeah.
There's no Cinderella story. I'm the best. I'm winning this. And then he did. Because, good Lord, okay, let's talk about Vitality for a moment here.
Sure.
What is making them so good at this point? And do you think that they're going to be able to like continue this era of domination in the second half of the second season in this year?
Yeah. First off, their playbook is crazy deep. I don't know who that credits to. Like, I'm sure it's a combination between Apex, the coach, Xtaz, and their analysts and team, right? Like, every time I watch them, they have, like, from T and CT sides, they've got fast strats, slow strats. They've got perfect setups. It's masterpiece. And then bringing Rops onto the team was probably top 3 best signings of all time. Because he's
in any sport
yeah,
ever.
Yeah. He is he's one of my top favorite players because he's such a nerd for the game. He comes up with the craziest nades, positions, angles, like that. I guess that could also contribute to the tactics, right? Of him bringing onto the team, but man. So what was I'm glazing Robs here. What was the question? Why Vitality's good? Okay, yeah, but I mean their roles is perfect too. Everyone on that team is good, plays their roles perfectly. I don't know what else to say, man. Vitality just can they continue?
Yeah, that's my question.
It'll be interesting if they can, because we've got a lot of different roster shakeups happening. Right, we don't know the full extent yet, but Falcons, even though they didn't have a good major and bombing out of stage 2 embarrassingly, they were able to compete with Vitality when that new roster formed with Nico and when m0NESY came onto the team. Like, they took Vitality to the map 5 twice in best of 5s, despite them losing. Right now they have the young prodigy Kisosuke in for Magus. Like, we don't know if that's going to be the breaking point of Falcons edging out Vitality. Now today, Spirit announced Zue is his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the player from Namiga who replaced Magix. Because the problem with Spirit was they didn't have a consistent third fragger. Donk did most of the heavy lifting. Shiro was there, but Chopper, Zontix, and Magix were pretty inconsistent. So now I don't know if he's going to be the answer, but we'll see. And
alleviate some of the pressure.
Yeah, for sure. And then Mouse also gave Vitality a run. Even though they went like 0-5 and 0-6 against Vitality, they had close matches against them too. I can't remember one of the finals where it came down to map 5, like really close, but Mouse lost. So yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know if you had to guess, if I had to guess, I'm gonna say, yeah, I think they can continue with a hot streak for the end, to complete the end of the year. But it'll be close. I think Falcons can give them a run for their money for sure with Kisosuke.
Yeah, what do you think happened to Vitality? Were you watching the group stages up until the playoffs of the major? You said you watched every demo.
Yeah, I watched every demo.
What do you think happened for Falcons, for a team like Falcons there? Was it just external factors, or was it something in game that was like noticeably bad?
Man, it had to be some type of pressure, because that 3v5 was one of the worst played 3v5s. I thought the game was done when they were up in that 5v3 post plant. Like, I was on Discord with my friends. I was like, oh, it's over. And then my friend was like, I'm gonna get up to get food, and I'm just sitting here watching still. And then one player goes down. Another player, it comes down to a 3v3. I'm like, yo, come back. Yeah, they just retook, and now it's going to third overtime, wherever it was. But there's been a lot of talks about Nico not performing as of recently in like these major matches. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest. I didn't look deep dive into when I'm watching these matches. I don't really analyze a lot of it because I'm
Hmm.
just looking for new things.
Right.
But well, we know that round was just played bad. They shouldn't have lost there. But I have no clue. Like they said they had a good boot camp, good practices. But as you know, that doesn't always correlate to doing well in the matches.
Yeah.
So
Well, well, it was for me it was one of the most exciting majors I've watched in a while. I thought there were a lot of really fun upsets. Watching Legacy play the way they did throughout
oh
the
my
group
gosh, the
stages,
team that should have even been there, right?
yeah, shouldn't have even been there. And then they proved themselves.
Dude, I going 3-0 in stage 2 was crazy. They went
That was
they started
wild.
0-2 in stage 1, I think. Did
Did
they?
they?
I don't know, but forget what I said, but going 3-0 in stage 2 is crazy and then beating Vitality, ending their streak if you consider, even though it's a best of 1, right? Ending that like they shouldn't I mean Vitality shouldn't still even lose to like no offense to Legacy, but
They shouldn't lose to a team like that, especially not
yeah.
13-3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, that was a blowout.
Yeah,
But
Legacy.
they need to I mean, they need to keep capitalize off this. If they don't do any like I'm talking about legacy.
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
don't do anything else for the rest of the season, like this was all for nothing, basically. But since they went on that hot streak, I don't know what their standing is now, but I'm sure from VRS they gotta be up there. They're gonna get invites now to a lot of tournaments. So it's for them to prove themselves now that this wasn't a whole fluke.
Yeah, let's talk about VRS a little bit here. What are your thoughts on this VRS system being implemented this year? What are some ups and downs and pros and cons that you've spotted out, and what would you like to see change in the future?
VRS,
I don't
man.
know how much you've been paying attention to it.
I'll be honest. I'm not too deep into VRS and well informed about VRS. I just know you just get invited based on your performances, but it's really hard for lower teams to get up there, right? Because they have to. There's not that many open qualifiers, are there?
I don't.
Yeah,
There are open qualifiers, but I think they're all online now. Like
yeah,
it's not like it was before, where you play for the chance to go play at a closed qualifier offline. So I think
yeah.
there's more open qualifiers. There's less closed qualifiers that allow players to actually play online. But I'll be honest with you too, man. That's why I keep asking this question. I don't know too much about it either, and I'm hoping people can slowly educate me, because the rulings on it kind of confuse me as well,
They always get changed too,
and
and
they're
like
always changing.
yeah, they're always changing, and that's because teams are also like trying to find loopholes too that happened like last season with like, for example, was it Wildcard bringing in Stewie to stand in for a qualifier to make them NA or something, and yeah, there's a bunch of changes. It's hard to keep up, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know we got to see Imperial FE at the S tier event earlier this year,
Oh
which was
man, that was
pretty
a
cool.
whole that was cool, but that was a whole a lot of people were mad about that.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of people in Counter Strike that
yeah,
are very frustrated about a lot of things, especially surrounding women's Counter Strike for whatever reason. But um, we won't really go into that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I want to. I'm gonna only ask you a few more questions here, because
All right.
I feel like we've gotten a pretty ample story. And if you ever want to come back on here and just yap away. If you want
All
to set
right.
up your cam, you get your cam set up next time so that you're laying down here as well.
Oh,
And
okay. I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was the layout of this,
well, I've offered it before, but
dude.
that seems to be a tricky bit of business for people because, like, you see your microphone on the boom
Yeah,
arm
yeah,
there. Most people have their setup, but yeah,
yeah.
dude, if you've got a way to set it up to where you're
Bro,
laying it down with me, I mean,
you
we're
got it,
gonna,
dude. For the next, like when you get big enough, you gotta invite guests out to lay next to you. Not saying you
dude.
should fly me out and lay next to you. Hey, I'm talking about the other guests. You know, I'll give you an idea
Listen,
right there.
if if I have
Hey,
my way,
yep,
I what I will be doing is getting a mattress sponsorship for
yeah.
one, and then all of the S tier tournament organizers will invite me out to do this bit with as a part of media day for
Uh-huh.
for
That'd be cool.
for them.
They get to
You
lay
never
next to the
know.
big D.
That's what I'm saying. Laying
Hey,
it down with Big D, baby. That's it's a ridiculous name, and I don't know how we are where we
but
are, but.
thank you for the invite. So you can invite me next time when I win the major.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's every single time. So I'll just every major I'll be
Yeah,
inviting
yeah.
you.
Okay.
Okay, I only have a couple of questions out here for you, Nart out here.
Yep.
One, where did you come up with the name Nart out here, and
Okay.
what does that
So
name mean to you?
all right, let's go this the second part. Out here. That's a phrase like it means you're hustling. So like I think it came from like SoCal with the skateboarders. So like, hey, I'm out here, meaning like
Oh, I'm out here.
I'm grinding, like I'm
Yeah.
hustling. Yeah. Nart is actually Nart. Not a lot of people know Nart is just my last name backwards. Tran. It's a common
Mm.
a Vietnamese surname. So at the time, when was it like 2017, 2018? You know, everyone was putting their names backwards. Like Ethan.
It's a cool
So
thing.
Ethan, Relics, Skylar, right? I forget. And then who does it nowadays? Carson, Nasrak.
Carson does it, and um, I want to say, did Brax ever do it? Swag? I don't think he did.
No,
No,
but
but
yeah, it's dying down though.
it's definitely from
Yeah,
that era. Yeah,
yeah,
you are. It is from a bygone era. You are correct. But
yeah. But I'm trying to think what my previous alias was. Oh, it was called Ender, Ender. And I
END.
yeah, I'll be honest, I just copied that when I was playing, like back in like when I was a kid. I just saw that was a cool name from somebody in a public server and just copied his name.
I
So
mean, that's
yeah,
when you're a teenager. That's a cool. That's a
I
cool
don't
ass
even know what
name, dude.
Ender means or
Ender.
where it came from, but yeah,
You're
there's a world I
ending
could have
them.
been Ender instead of Nart out here. That's for sure. Ender CS2.
Dude, no, Nardo, here's a
Yeah.
pretty recognizable name. All right, well, I got one last question here for you, dude.
All right, Big
Um,
D.
and I think I had one other one, but I forgot it. It'll be on part two someday. Uh, my last question that I ask everybody here is, if you could talk to a younger version of yourself, maybe that young man that was addicted to Counter Strike Source.
Yeah,
Um, if you could talk to a younger version of yourself and
yeah,
give them some advice, it could be Counter Strike or
sure.
anything that you want related. If you
Yeah,
could give them some advice, what would it be?
make content earlier. That's for sure. Because I missed the time frame when CS:GO was at its prime. When was that? Like 2017, 2018,
Yeah.
2017? Yeah, 2017, 2016 to 2018 maybe. If I had made content back then, oh man, I would be huge. I mean, I would still consider myself okay, like, but most people think I'm pretty huge. Like I would say I'm a pretty recognizable name, but man, imagine if I made content back then. That'd been crazy. But I would have also told myself to study like grade-wise school. Like focus, like do your work first, then play games. Because when I got into college, that's where my mindset was. Let's take care of what I need to do first, reward myself with games after. So that's that. And yeah, I mean that's what I would tell myself back then. What was it? To make content, and what was the second thing? Focus on schooling before playing games. Yeah,
Get your priorities straight.
priorities. But also do what you want, man. Do what you want. Meaning like my parents were just so I think it also comes from an Asian household where they're just so they pressure you into schooling so much that I kind of like got sick of it and just decided to maybe that's why I crashed out on CS, like it became addicted so much. I wanted to like escape that side of things. So if I ever become a parent, that's definitely one thing I will teach my kids. Like I mean, I still want them to do good in school, but just like they can I wouldn't be so strict on it. Just,
Find the balance.
yeah, exactly. That's the word, balance.
Balance in all things.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
Nart, I appreciate you joining us here today and coming to yap about Counter-Strike
Thanks for
and
having me.
hanging out with me. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to our couple of dozen viewers here or so?
Dude, thank y'all for watching. You know, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's gonna help out. Give the video a like, and comment. Any type of these algo or any type of these interactions is gonna help the channel grow. We would like to see that. And I forgot to give a shout out to somebody during this whole interview. Nate King. Nate King gets a shout out because after the strategy breakdown, I was putting out like one like nade or one tip or one trick as a video. So the video would be like anywhere from like 1 to 2 minutes long, just covering like one thing. Nate King did I was not friends with Nate King at the time, nor have I ever associated myself with him. He DMs me one day on Twitter saying like, "Hey, you should put a couple of these together and put them out." And that's what I did. That's how I got the inspiration from Nate King to put out these tips and tricks compilations. So shout out Nate King. Like I had like I was probably like under like 3K subscribers. No clue. Like I was such a small creator that he took his time to message me to help me out. That's a good guy. That's a good guy. So shout out Nate King.
Well, and look at you paying
Yep.
it forward by showing up here on laying it down with Big D as well. So, yeah, dude, shout. That's a good shout out. Nate King's one of the I love
Yeah,
that
Nate
guy.
King's goaded.
His content is excellent. Well, all right, Nart. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching, and that is it. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.